Welcome to Learn Conversational English. I'm Jenny.
And I'm John. We're so glad you're here with us today.
This show is for people who are learning English and want to practice by listening to real, natural conversations. We keep the language simple and friendly, so it's easy to follow along.
That's right. And today's topic is a really fun one. We're talking about Indian holidays and festivals and how they're celebrated here in Canada.
Canada is such a great place to talk about this because there are so many people from India and South Asia living here. The communities are large, they're vibrant, and they keep their traditions very much alive.
That's so true. I grew up in Toronto, and even as a kid, I remember seeing Diwali lights in neighbors' windows and hearing about Holi. I didn't fully understand what they were at the time, but I always thought they seemed so joyful.
Ha, that's sweet. And for me, growing up in a Chinese family, we had our own big celebrations, like Chinese New Year and Mid-Autumn Festival. So I always had a lot of appreciation for other cultures' festivals too. Learning about new traditions is one of my favorite things.
That's the beautiful thing about living in a multicultural country. You're constantly learning. Okay, so let's get into it. I think the best place to start is probably the most well-known Indian festival, Diwali.
Yes, Diwali, the festival of lights. So Diwali is celebrated by Hindus, Sikhs, and Jains. It usually falls in October or November, and it lasts for 5 days.
5 days? That's quite a celebration.
It really is. The central meaning of Diwali is the victory of light over darkness and good over evil. People decorate their homes with small oil lamps called diyas and with lots of fairy lights. There are also fireworks, sweets, and people visit each other to share food and gifts.
You know, it actually reminds me a little of Christmas here in Canada in that way. The lights everywhere, the visiting family, the sweets, the feeling of warmth during that time of year. So where in Canada do we see the biggest Diwali celebrations?
Well, Brampton in Ontario is probably the most famous. The Diwali celebration there is one of the largest in all of North America. We're talking tens of thousands of people at outdoor events. Music, dancing, food stalls, fireworks. It's enormous.
Tens of thousands. Wow. And Brampton makes sense because it has one of the largest South Asian communities in the country. It's sometimes called the South Asian capital of Canada. A huge number of families from India, especially from the Punjab region, have settled there over the decades.
And Mississauga, which is right next to Brampton, also has big celebrations. The whole Greater Toronto area is really a hub for Indian culture in Canada.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about Holi next, because this one is so fun to explain.
Yes, Holi, the festival of colors. This is the one where people throw brightly colored powder at each other.
I mean, it sounds chaotic, but in the best possible way.
Totally chaotic, totally joyful. Holi is celebrated in late February or March, and it marks the arrival of spring. People celebrate with colored powder, red, yellow, green, pink, music, and dancing. And the great thing is, it doesn't matter if you're a stranger. Everyone is welcome to join in.
That openness is really the spirit of it, you know? Spring festivals seem to be a theme across a lot of cultures, right?
So true. In China, we have Qingming around that time. It's a time to spend outdoors and honor our ancestors. But Holi sounds much more energetic, let's say.
Much more energetic. So where is Holi celebrated in Canada?
Surrey, in British Columbia, is a big one. Surrey is just outside Vancouver, and it has a very large South Asian community, especially Punjabi families. The Holi events there can draw thousands of people into parks, all covered in color. It looks absolutely amazing in photos.
I've seen videos, and it's just every direction you look, someone is covered in pink or yellow powder, laughing. It's hard not to smile watching it.
Yes, exactly. Toronto and other cities have Holi events too. Some of them are ticketed festival events, almost like music festivals, but with the color throwing as the main attraction.
Okay, since we're talking about Surrey and Punjabi culture, I think we have to talk about Vaisakhi because this is massive, and I don't think enough people outside the community know just how big it is.
Please tell me more. I know the name, but I'd love to hear you explain it.
So Vaisakhi is a Sikh festival. It celebrates the founding of the Khalsa. That's the community of baptized Sikhs, which happened in 1699. It also marks the harvest season in Punjab, so it has both a religious and a cultural meaning.
That's interesting. A celebration that connects faith and the land at the same time.
Exactly. And the Vaisakhi parade, it's called a Nagar Kirtan, in Surrey is one of the largest Sikh parades outside of India. We're talking hundreds of thousands of people lining the streets. It's genuinely one of the biggest annual events in British Columbia.
Hundreds of thousands. That's incredible. I had no idea it was that scale.
It really is. There's devotional music called kirtan being played from decorated floats. People are dressed in beautiful traditional clothes. And one of my favorite things about it, free food called langar is served to absolutely everyone. You don't have to be Sikh. You don't have to know anyone. Anyone can come and eat.
Free food for everyone. That's such a generous and welcoming tradition. It says a lot about the values of the community.
It really does. Sharing and community are central to Sikh culture. And Toronto and Mississauga also have Nagar Kirtan processions for Vaisakhi. It's celebrated across the country.
Let's talk about Navratri and Dussehra because I hear these names a lot and I want to understand them better. Can you walk me through it?
Of course. So Navratri literally means 9 nights in Sanskrit. It's a Hindu festival that honors the goddess Durga. For 9 nights, people fast, pray, and dance. The dance associated with Navratri is called Garba. It's this beautiful, flowing, circular dance that comes from the state of Gujarat in India.
9 nights of dancing. That sounds like a lot of energy.
It really is. In cities like Toronto and Calgary, you get huge Garba events in large community halls. People dress in traditional Gujarati clothing, very colorful, and dance together for hours.
Calgary! I didn't think of Calgary as having a big Indian community, to be honest.
It's grown a lot in recent years. Edmonton, too. Alberta has seen a wave of immigration from India, and those communities are very active in celebrating their culture. It makes sense. People move there for work, they settle, and they bring their traditions with them.
That's a familiar story for a lot of immigrant communities, isn't it? You move somewhere new, but you hold on to what makes you who you are.
Absolutely. And then Dussehra comes right at the end of Navratri. It celebrates the victory of the god Rama over the demon Ravana. In India and in some events in Canada, they built large effigies of Ravana and burned them as part of the celebration. It's quite a spectacle.
So again, the theme of good defeating evil. We keep coming back to that in so many of these festivals.
It's a very powerful and universal message. Light over darkness, good over evil, hope over fear. I think that's why these festivals resonate with so many people, even if they come from a completely different background.
Which brings us back to something you said earlier, that Canada has this idea of multiculturalism, where you don't have to give up who you are to belong here. That's really special.
It's something I genuinely feel proud of as a Canadian. We're not perfect, but that idea that your culture, your language, your traditions are worth keeping and sharing, that's something Canada has worked hard to build.
Ha, and you do apologize a lot. That's also very Canadian.
I'm sorry, you're completely right about that. Very Canadian of me to apologize for how Canadian I am.
Okay, so let's quickly bring it all together for our listeners. If someone in Canada wants to experience these festivals, which cities should they look at?
Well, Brampton and Mississauga in Ontario are at the top of the list. Enormous South Asian communities, incredible events year-round, and Toronto itself has events happening in different neighborhoods throughout the year.
Surrey in British Columbia is a must, especially for Vaisakhi and Holi. The scale of the Nagar Kirtan parade there is something you really have to see to believe.
And don't sleep on Calgary and Edmonton. Both cities have fast-growing Indian communities and active cultural organizations that put on real events.
And honestly, most major Canadian cities will have something. A lot of events are organized by temples, mosques, community centers, and cultural associations. So if you live somewhere else, it's worth looking up what's happening near you.
Good advice. And if you do go to any of these events as someone from outside the community, just be respectful, be curious, and be open. Most people are genuinely happy to share their culture with you.
100%. Curiosity and respect go a long way. Well, John, this has been such a great conversation. I feel like I learned something new today, too, even having lived in Canada for a while.
Same here, and I grew up here. That's the thing. There's always more to learn, always another layer to discover.
To everyone listening, thank you so much for spending this time with us. We hope this conversation helped you practice your English and also taught you something interesting about these beautiful festivals and the communities that celebrate them here in Canada.
And remember, the best way to improve your English is to keep listening, keep practicing, and stay curious. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every conversation is a step forward.
We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourselves, everyone.
Bye for now.